Hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. Have you been missing me? Maybe not, maybe so. Well, my apologies, but I did need a break from social media overall because it's just become so negative overall. Not just about this game, many games, other issues, other things. And sometimes it's good to just take a break because all of a sudden you feel like less anxious. Well, at least that works for me. I have been very, very busy playing this game every single day, probably more than I should have. Felt guilty many times because I should have maybe done other things but gaming. But this game is just so amazing. It pulls you in and you just want to find out what happens next and you want to explore more. It's just an incredible game. Well, how much did I play? Well, you see right here, 227 hours. Can you believe it? Well, I can because it is a huge game. And I don't usually care so much about achievements, but I had like 80% done by accident just by playing the game. So I was like, why not just complete this? It's fun. So here we go. I did that as well. And it actually just added more fun to the game because they had you do some stuff that I probably would not have done otherwise. And here is how my objective board looked like after I was done. You can just see how much there is. Unless you have done this yourself, you probably don't know that there is so much. It just puzzled me. Every time I thought I'm getting like close to the end, another wheel opened up with more quests and more quests and more quests. It was absolutely crazy. And it took a long time to complete all of this. But I have to be honest, I also spent a lot of time just admiring the world and taking like thousands of photos. And I'm just showing a few here while I'm explaining why I enjoyed this so much. I'm actually also a photographer. It's been a hobby of mine for a really long time. I did it partially as a profession. And I just absolutely love photography. I love playing with the lights and, just making the best out of the most amazing lighting in scenarios. And also finding subjects that other people maybe don't even notice. Some people were saying, oh my God, I didn't even notice those things that you have in those photos. And that's really the point of, taking photos that are interesting for others to look like. You don't want to always just have your character in the middle and some kind of background. You want to also look at other things. And this game just provides so many possibilities of absolutely amazing shots. And I sometimes just had to kind of slap my hands and say, stop it now. It's enough. What are you going to do with all those photos? Well, some of them I may use as wallpapers and others they will just eventually disappear. And here is what my two characters looked like most of the time I played. I tried some head coverings, I tried some other outfits, but this is really what I stuck on, what I liked most because it felt most realistic to me. And while at the beginning I wasn't really happy to having to play as a male character because I always play female characters in games, at the end I realized that I loved playing as both characters equally because they supplemented each other so well. What the one could do, the other couldn't, and vice versa. So it always depended which character you had to pick on the job that you had to do. Some jobs were better for Yasuke and others were better for Naoe, and they are both amazing characters. And I really like that Ubisoft gives us the option to hide all the armor, so you can literally run around naked as those characters. But what I always like to do is hide their head coverings, because I do like to see their faces and hair, because it makes me feel more attached to the character. And quickly back to photo mode. While the photo mode is always fantastic in Ubisoft game, they changed something in this game that I thought was not so good. As a UX designer, I would have definitely not done that. As you can see here, when you frame a picture, you see this UI on the right bottom corner and it's kind of in the way. And every time you adjust the camera slightly, the UI comes back on. You hide it, it comes right back on. As soon as you move the button around, it comes back on. That really bothered me because when you do adjust your camera, you don't want to have all this stuff in the way. You want to see the whole picture. It's really hard to see the picture, and then you have to constantly hide it, adjust the camera, hide it again, adjust the camera, hide it again. So they should just do it so when you do adjust the camera and you say hide the UI, it stays hidden until you turn it back on. But that's just a slight issue that I encountered and I did not like, and it's probably the only thing I didn't like about this game. And I did bring it up. I don't know if they're gonna read it and fix it, but yeah, that was something that bothered me. And while I loved using all weapons, I never used the Teppo or the Kanabo because I did not enjoy those two weapons. But a fun fact that you may not know is that you can not only customize your weapon here under visual customization where you just switch the different swords. You can actually change every single part of a weapon. Like for example on the sword here, you can select what kind of blade you want, and then what kind of handle you want. And the longer you play, the more selections you have here, of course. But I have not even noticed some of those handles until I went in here and I was like, boy, there are some really beautiful handles. And then you can change the guards. And again here, look at the detail on those guards. You can obviously not see them when you play it, so I don't know how much this scares a lot of players, but I still think it's amazing that they put this in here, because if you just are interested in Japanese weapons, here you actually can take a look at them all and see all the amazing designs. I thought that was pretty neat. And then just quickly showing the Kusarigama, all the customizations here, just quickly going through. I find this weapon still one of the most fascinating weapons, and it is pretty fun to customize because of that chain and ball that's on it. And what also made me spend a lot of time in the game is not just admiring the nature and the views and the vistas, but also actually just paying attention to all the people living in this world. Like this musician, for example, I sat with him for a while and just listened to him sing and play his guitar. Then I often just watched the farmers to see what they're actually doing, thinking of maybe can I figure out what they're planting here, because it can't be rice because rice is planted in the water. So I was always wondering maybe it's some kind of vegetable. And then there's the fishermen that you saw like in many places. It was always so funny watching them looking for some fish and then trying to spear them up and then be all disappointed when they don't get them. I never saw any fish though. And then there was this woman, she couldn't stop staring at me. I was here at a temple just minding my own business and I noticed that this woman was staring at me. So I thought that was quite interesting. I don't know what she saw in me. Yeah, here I'm actually finding this woman here with this funny hat that I actually never saw when I was in Japan, but maybe that only existed back then. But yeah, I was also trying to see if I can play without armor, just, testing it out. I didn't do that anymore afterwards. And then I ran into this little fella who thought that he was just the biggest thing there is. Look at how important his walk is. He felt very special and for sure was a kid of a rich family. And then you find so many people who are suffering and you just feel like so sad for them. Well, I at least did because I'm an empath. I just can't help it. This guy was just so cold and I was like, I just want to help him out. I want to give him some money so he can get himself a hot soup or tea. But the game didn't let me do that, so the next best thing I knew to do was to pray for him. And then of course I had to stop for those musicians and listen to them for a little while. That was pretty cool. I never saw musicians just play on the road like this, like in a group. So I really enjoyed this. Until I got rudely interrupted by a guy that clearly didn't like me being here. He gave me the dirty looks, but I just let him look. What is he gonna do about it, huh? And this is nothing new to Assassin's Creed Shadows. They had that already in Odyssey and Valhalla. And what I always like is that when you are in the water and you feel like just you have to swim forever, people come with their boats and help you out. You can go hop onto their boat and even take over the steering. But when you do that, that one person always jumps in the water. I feel always so bad for them because I'm like, why are you leaving? There's enough room for 3 of us. Now she's sitting there on the side, pouting. Oh my god, I feel so bad, but I need this boat. But don't do what I did here, which is, crash the boat. Because that's really not nice. That is super rude. And yeah, I did feel really bad because not only did this guy lose his wife, now he also lost his boat and his cargo, and he's sitting over there pouting too. And I'm just like, I am so sorry. I don't know what to do. Do you want money? I got plenty of it. And yeah, there is an abundance of legendary chests. They're like everywhere. So make sure you save people on the side of the road. The more people you save, the more secrets you get. And a lot of them are locations of legendary chests. And you always get amazing weapons from those. I had hundreds of weapons to choose from, more than I ever needed. And that was before I even started Act 2 of the story. And while you may just enjoy all the beautiful sights and vistas and temples and castles, there are also places like this. And they can be very depressing, and it really kind of opens your eyes of how things really were, because not everything was just hoity-toity and fancy and fun and pretty. There was a lot of this going on back then, not just in Japan, all over the world. But this is just really, really sad. And I mean, they did an amazing job here just portraying the sadness here, the destruction, the death that's going here, the fires, just people suffering, so many dead bodies. Yeah, it's just crazy. You go through here and just feel just absolutely heartbroken seeing all this. There's so many arrows in the ground, burned trees, burned buildings, and then people just who lost everything and don't really know what they're supposed to do now, because all they have is their clothes on their body and that's it. And I just felt like so heartbroken. I was like, I just want to help out. Look at this. Isn't that absolutely horrific? And then just a little bit up the hill from that scene, you come here and you are like, what did I just experience? That's crazy. What a stark contrast that is. This feels like paradise. And what we just seen was absolute hell. But yeah, this is what is so amazing about this game. You just see so many different places and so many scenarios that you don't expect until you see them. But to something more fun and relaxing, I have seen a lot of fun and happy things on my travels and my explorations that I did, just trying to find new exciting things. I saw this, just a bunch of bodies and arrows again, but then look over there. I was like, what is that? So I go and take a closer look. And I find out they're just fish. Take a photo, because I want proof that I saw that. Isn't that fun? They clearly are supposed to be in the water, but I don't know if Ubisoft just had fun with this or if this is a glitch. I assume it's a ladder, but yeah, I had to share it because I thought that was pretty cute. And I think it was a glitch also because something similar happened here a little bit earlier, almost at the beginning of the game. I saw this, and you might have seen that too if you play this game, because this is right by a Kurikiri location. But this may not always happen. This could literally be just a glitch that once in a while happens. I do know that someone else I know saw this, so I don't know how frequent this happens. But here, I thought I was the only one seeing this, and I wanted to find out if you can get it out of the air, but it didn't work. And then by a temple, I saw this little cute monkey who desperately tried to get away from me, but as much as he tried, he had no luck. I thought that was quite cute. Look at him. He's really trying. And he got it! Yoo-hoo! There's some people that were like, oh, I really hate winter in this game because when you walk through the snow, you're so slow. I'm like, no, you're not. When you're on the horse, you're just as fast as always. And don't walk in the snow, walk on the path. Why would you do that? And actually, every season in this game has advantages and disadvantages. In winter, for example, you can have fun on the ice with your horse, or without your horse, you can slide on the ice, which is a lot of fun. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when you take out castles, you can literally just run across the water that usually keeps you from accessing a castle easily. You can just run over the ice and you're in. But make sure you don't forget to take out those pesky alarm bells, because if you don't, you're in a lot of trouble. So for me, taking out castles was actually a lot more fun with Yasuke, even though I did a lot of castle raids completely in stealth. It just took so long to do that. With Yasuke, you can just take his bow, go up on the roof, shoot all the bells, and then shoot all the daisho also with your bow, and you're done. No need to take everyone out. It's super fast and easy. I have videos about that and also about me playing as Noe completely stealth, if you're interested.
順路の両脇にある木の樽を馬上から射抜くのじゃ。たやすかろう？始めよう。
Yeah, we're about to do horse archery here, which is what I saved to last. And yes, I played the whole game in Japanese because I feel like this is really the best way to play it if you truly want to have a Japan experience. But anyway, I struggle with those horse archeries because I just couldn't see some of those targets. I just was like, I can't see them. Where are they? Anyway, eventually got them all done. It was actually a lot of fun. And no, you cannot automate them. You do have to do them. I actually found out way later that you can automate the kurikiris and the kata after I was done with them all. But yeah, if you don't like doing them, you can at least automate those two and just get them done.
うまいぞ。
Someone is very excited. And what I didn't know is that you actually get really cool rewards for it, because I almost didn't want to do them. But you actually get a new horse for every one that you do. And then I was kind of like, I should have done this earlier because I could have had those cool horses before I ended the game. But anyway, here are some of the horses that I unlocked. And I think I purchased a couple of them. I also have really cool horses for Noe, and of course also a bunch of saddles. The only thing that's kind of too bad is when you have a really cool looking horse, the saddles cover most of the horse, so I ended up spending my last 2 days riding the horse without a saddle, so just I could enjoy its pattern. And of course, I always had to ride with the latest horse once I acquired it. So yeah, here is my hideout. I did not spend too much time on it like some people may have. I just always knew what I wanted. So the more stuff I got, the more I added to it. And then I did some rearrangements because I wanted it to look a little bit organized, but not too organized. I wanted it to be mostly like an absolutely lush park and garden with a lot of pathways, a lot of places to just pray or sit down and relax and meditate and just enjoy the flowers and plants and animals and not focus so much on the houses. But at the beginning, I didn't even want to do anything for the hideout until I found out that you actually supposed to, because it gives you benefits for the gameplay. So you kind of have to, but you know, if you're not into doing this kind of thing, you can just put some houses down and call it a day. But I think most people do enjoy just decorating their hideouts at least a little bit because it's just fun and you find so many cool things on the way. So at least you want to try them out and see what they look like and then walk through and get a feeling for what it looks like when you're on the ground. And I always enjoyed building maps in games whenever you could build maps. So this is something I actually do enjoy, although I didn't want to spend too much time doing this because the game is just so huge. And I knew from the beginning that I will explore this whole game to the fullest, and I literally uncovered the whole map. I explored every nook and cranny of the map. The only parts that are still kind of fogged up on my map are parts where you can't get to or where, you know, you can climb up, but there's nothing up there. It's just like I've done a bunch of mountain climbing and there was really nothing up there, just beautiful forest. I did never regret doing that. But eventually I was like, if I keep doing this, I never get done with this game. And you probably won't believe it, but I was already about 175 hours into the game before I even started Act 2. Until then, I just did Act 1 and then all the side quests, everything that was not the story. Well, a little bit was tied to the story, but it was mostly just side quests, super interesting side quests, which I fully enjoyed. But the longer this went on, I was like, oh my god, it uncovers more and more. The more I play, the more side quests are uncovered, and I felt like I eventually want to continue the story, but what I really didn't want to do is finish the stories before the side quests, because once the story ends in a game, I kind of lose interest in a game. It feels flat to me afterwards. So I always make sure to never finish the story before the side quest. And I did the same here and I don't regret a thing about it. So many people were like, well, you're supposed to play the story earlier in the game. No, you don't. You don't. If you really want to experience the fullness of this game, go and pay attention to the side quests. Do everything. Explore the whole map, because only this way you truly get the full experience of this game. And I know this is not for everyone, but for those of us who truly enjoy open world games and don't mind when they take a long time to complete, this is the way to go. So this is a very nice corner of my hideout where I have two of those rocks with steps up and shrines on top. And yeah, they're a little bit close together. I could have probably put one in one corner and the one on the opposite corner of the map. And then I thought about changing it, and then I was like, no, I really should continue with this game because I want to eventually finish it. And I actually did never regret changing it whenever I came here. I loved it just the way it was. And this is actually me walking through my hideout one last time after finishing the game, after completing everything, just taking one last look at it. Not sure when I come back, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy gaming, take care, bye bye.